A lot of people think that when you walk into my office, I have confidential documents or whatever it may be, all declassified. But I had confidential documents spread out all over my floor. And like a slob, like I'm sitting there reading these documents all day long, or somebody else would be. It's so dishonest when you look at it. And so people were concerned because they said, gee, you know, that's a strange scene. You look at the floor and you see documents, right? They have cover sheets of documents. No, they put them there, John, and they put them there in a messy fashion. And then they took a picture and they released it to the public. And this is what we're dealing with these people.
Now, you knew coming out of the DOJ releasing that photo of the documents in Mar-a-Lago, we can actually go to that photo and you'll see it, that neither Trump nor his defenders were going to engage with the substance of it. The fact that it is proof that he stole many, many, many classified documents. We all knew that. But the idea that they're going to focus on, no, they're making it seem as if I'm a slob, they're making it seem as if I threw it on the floor, is the weirdest thing to focus on. And he's not just doing it as a quick aside in the interview that you heard. He truthed about it, saying there seems to be confusion as to the picture where documents were sloppily thrown on the floor and then released photographically for the world to see, as if that's what the FBI found when they broke into my home. Wrong. They took them out of the curtains and spread them around the carpet, making it look like a big find for them. They dropped them, not me. Very deceiving. So that is okay. We have a lot of people watching this right now. There are thousands of you watching. If literally one of you saw that photo and thought that's how they found it, and furthermore thought that that's what makes it bad, feel free to send me a comment, because I don't believe there's a single person like that. Ben, why is this what they're focusing on?
I'm your one guy, John. That was what I was concerned about when I heard that the former president stole top secret classified documents. I said, oh my God, I hope he kept them organized. And exactly. When I saw that photo, I immediately thought this is very bad for the country. Think about what our adversaries will think is that a Roomba could come up and just swallow our nuclear secrets. I mean, it's mind-boggling the reality that this guy twists, and now millions, tens of millions of Americans are saying, it's unbelievable. The DOJ threw those documents on the floor and they're not admitting it, and it's a big cover up. It's a huge Swiffer cover up.
100%. It's, I get it. Again, as we said in the intro, he's not gonna like admit. He says in that video, it's like they're making it seem as if it's a big find. Well, okay, but pause there for 1 second. Isn't it, Trump? Come on. I mean, whether it's spread on the floor, whether it's on the duvet, whether you have it scattered amongst the levels of a complex bookshelf, regardless of how you organize it in space or on what furniture, seems kind of big. I mean, those are definitely classified documents of the highest levels, and there's a lot of them. So I get why they'd want to skate by that part.
Yeah, and he skates right by in his statement on the audio clip that you played, which, by the way, he always loves to call an audio because A, he doesn't have to go through his intense makeup process, and B, you don't see him trying to grasp for straws. You don't see him going, oh, also, you don't get to see that part where he makes up the lies. But he skated right past a large part of what the concern is. Oh, people think that there's people just looking at the documents in my office. Yeah, that's part of the concern, is that random people visiting your golf club office are looking at top secret documents. And I talk about this in my Rebel video that comes out later today. Specifically, the news is still kind of running cover for him, so that the mainstream media, so that they can still make a story out of something that is black and white, bad, wrong, evil, illegal, against the country. They literally had a clip saying, there still is no evidence whether Trump knew that the documents were there, although it should be noted, 3 of them were found in his desk drawers. So did they need to say that?
As if you know what's in your desk. I have so much stuff in there. It's in the desk because I don't need it. Basically, that's where you hide stuff.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
That's where you hide the stuff that you don't want people to know, but also it's not particularly secure situation. And like, I have my grandfather's desk behind me right here. It actually has 2 of the drawers can lock with a key. Trump didn't even say my drawers lock and I have the key. He didn't even have locks on these drawers. It's just loose drawers. Housekeeping's coming in at the end of the day, just dusting off nuclear secrets. That's the excitement.
Ooh, Iron Dome, interesting. But anyway, this is what they're going to focus on. And honestly, is as ridiculous as it is. We're going to get to a couple of his defenders and right-wing media, and it's almost more pathetic there. But first, I have noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, that in Donald Trump's response to what the DOJ sent out, that photo of all the documents, he's focusing on I'm not a slob and all that. What they're not really responding to are the devastating legal claims made in that same filing. That photo was only one part of it, of course. The fact that the DOJ is saying they have new evidence of an attempt to obstruct the investigation, far more damaging. And interestingly, they're not responding to that part. They've got a few concerns. Attorneys for Trump, so there's the public facing part of this and then the more important behind the scenes part. Let's focus on that. Attorneys for Trump are accusing the Justice Department, quote, of a unjustified pursuit of criminalizing a former president's possession of personal and presidential records in a secure setting. Well, first of all, simply calling it a secure setting don't make it a secure setting. That's not how that works. In the same way that simply saying you declassified stuff last year don't make it so either. But also, they're not attempting to criminalize his possession of it. The law pre-criminalized it by the fact that it's illegal. That's how that works. If like I rob a bank and then they catch up to me, I can't then put out a tweet saying they're trying to criminalize me having all of your gold bullion. Like that's not how that works. That's just what the law is actually. They say that that the DOJ is twisting their prior request for a special master, wherein they wanted not the federal government to look at all these documents, but someone else, a retired judge, a goon, a lackey, whatever. The DOJ is saying there are national security interests in not doing that. Obviously, Trump doesn't like that. And they say furthermore, left unchecked, the DOJ will impugn, leak, and publicize selective aspects of their investigation with no recourse for Trump, but to somehow trust the self-restraint of currently unchecked investigators. Now look, to be fair, Donald Trump has requested multiple additional bits of information be made public. That was why Merrick Garland originally came out and had his press conference. That's why they came out with the affidavit eventually. Now we're actually seeing what they found. These are all things that in theory Trump was saying he wanted to happen, but as soon as every one of them was done, suddenly it was a terrible thing that never should have happened. And so I get why they're a bit gun shy about more evidence coming out, because it's evidence of so much sheer willful illegality. But Ben, what do you think?
Well, I don't understand possibly why, even if somebody ideologically is aligned with Trump, why they would still be defending him at this point when you see that the moment he's in any sort of trouble, he not only throws every human under the bus that has been loyal to him, he throws full institutions under the bus. I mean, just that statement from his legal team instantly says that the FBI, DOJ no longer has any authority or respect whatsoever. They're a purely political organization. Oh, we're supposed to trust what? The Department of quote unquote justice? I mean, yeah, that's the institutions of our government. He would be in prison. He'd be saying, oh, we're supposed to trust that these bars aren't made of chocolate. And people are gonna be like, they're keeping him in bars made of chocolate. How is this to be taken seriously? I just hope we are around the corner from a day when he is in prison and finally gets that special master he's looking for.
Exactly, with or without chocolate bars.